Welcome everybody to the Mass Incorporated presentation on our groundbreaking new software, Predictive Logistics. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the opportunities we see in front of us, the problems that we're trying to solve, and how we're really going to leverage this software to help organizations and industries save money and cut costs. These days it's difficult to go anywhere without hearing someone talk about the cloud or Internet of Things or even smart devices. Everywhere you go, you see different devices that are connected in that try to help you solve some sort of problem. So what exactly is MAS trying to do with their predictive logistics software? Well, really, what we're looking to help accomplish here is by leveraging big data and these smart connected devices, we are trying to reduce costs associated with component failures. So by having all this information and analytics, MAS is able to analyze this, predict when components are going to fail, and preemptively ship and have these items ready to go before a component actually fails. We're going to be using software as a service. It's going to be housed within the cloud, and it's going to be based on a subscription model. Well, we feel that our software really can be leveraged across a wide range of industries. For the presentation today, we are going to narrow it down and focus on a specific industry, that being the heavy machinery industry. We're going to go into a little more detail in further slides about how our software really is going to help them save money, and we're going to see the benefits that they can realize by using our software. At the beginning of the presentation, we talked about briefly the Internet of Things, smart connected devices, and really how everyone is talking about it these days. And that's for good reason. Right now, there is $8 trillion, that's right, with a T, trillion dollars of value at stake within the Internet of Things. And this comes from a myriad of different sources through innovation, through utilization, increased utilization of assets, through improvements within the supply chain, but it's a very large dollar amount, and that's what we here at MAS are looking to capitalize on. As we've talked about, we're really looking to reduce waste and help our customers recoup costs. And this slide, I think, really speaks for itself. 150 billion in waste across industries could be eliminated with smart connected devices. That is just a huge dollar amount that our customers could be saving. So let's take a minute to look at the problem facing the heavy machinery industry and see how our software can really help them solve for it. When you look at the different factors going into heavy machinery being down, there's a couple different categories we can break it into. The first is the inability for either the customer or the manufacturer to really realize revenue. If a piece of machinery is down, they are not going to be able to continue working on that road or the bridge, which can cause construction delays. In addition, equipment is very expensive. So if an organization is trying to rent this equipment out, they're going to lose out on all of that revenue. What our software is looking to do is to help prevent these unknowns. It's going to help prevent the machinery from really going down in the first place. The other areas of concern are around inventory and shipping. If you don't know what's going to fail, how can you ever stock the right amount? And in some cases, expedited shipping to get a part from across the country to that location, and that can really add up. So we're looking to reduce some of these costs to both the manufacturers and the customers. In addition to those two, we're going to look at how component failure can really impact the rest of the machine. Oftentimes, if one component goes, other pieces can go as well, which increases the cost of repair. We can also look at how this can ripple across the industry. You're going to be able to reduce the need to overstock. You're going to reduce the need for transport, and there's going to be a lower labor cost because you're not going to have someone come out in the middle of the night or work overtime hours. These are all concerns that the industry has right now, and it really adds up to a significant cost. With our software, we're looking to mitigate this. So now that we've talked about the heavy machinery industry, the issues they're facing, Some of the market opportunities that we really see in front of us, let's talk about predictive logistics software and what it really is. So what MAS is trying to accomplish here is by analyzing big data, by having smart connected sensors, we are going to be able to accurately predict when maintenance needs to occur. We're going to be able to preemptively predict part failure. We're going to be able to have the right part at the customer site before an issue arises. This is going to be able to save the customer huge sums of money by preventing the overnight shipping, the after hours labor, and even the downtime of these devices. And because we are offering this software through the cloud, it's going to be based on a subscription model, which will really make it more palatable to most of our customers as opposed to having to pay huge upfront costs. Predictive logistics software really gives an organization insight across their entire business. They're now going to be able to schedule out all maintenance on all of their machinery. They're going to know exactly when that machine is not available, so it does not impact schedules or timelines on projects. You know exactly which parts you're going to need and when, so organizations no longer have to have huge amounts of cash tied up in stocking parts. And you really have visibility into the entire supply chain, especially for large organizations that have to source these materials. So it can really help an organization across every facet of its business. MAS opted to take a subscription-based model for the predictive logistics software via a cloud-based approach. The primary rationale for this was that it limited the amount of capital expense that had to be put up in the initial phases of this project, and it allows for scalability in the long term. We're offering this as a software as a service model, which is based off an annual subscription. We have two types of pricing. We have a basic model, which is $50,000 for 100 devices, or an enterprise model, which scales up to $500,000 for 1,000 plus devices. We feel that both of these approaches will meet the vast majority of situations across the market and will gain us valuable market share. Can I get a raise of hands on who hates reading Excel spreadsheets on a presentation? I know I do. So because everyone has this in front of them in their write-up and packet, I'm not going to dive into detail on it, but I simply want to call out the fact that year over year we continue to increase our staff, continue to increase our subscriptions, and if you look at our operating profit, we continue to grow it every year. That being said, we're going to be a very valuable company in years to come. We feel we have a fantastic opportunity to grow this product, and we're going to primarily focus on the small and medium-sized organizations initially. Well, we realize that we have the opportunity to expand this into all industries because there really is no other product like this. We're going to solely focus on the heavy equipment manufacturing industry initially, just in order to grow our organization. As we continue to expand, we do feel that large organizations will be interested in our product as well, but because of the processes and procedures they have in place, it may take a little bit of time. So we're not counting on their investments immediately. But within the next several years, we do feel that we will be able to garner several large clients. MAS has really acquired a world-class team here. I'm not going to go into great detail as the team is in the room and most of the introductions have been made at this point. But I do want to emphasize the fact that we have a very diverse experience in many different fields and are really up to the challenge in order to make this software succeed. Here is the second half of the executive team, and as I said in the previous slide, we're not going to go into any detail simply because they're in the room and introductions have already been made. So many of you, I'm sure, are wondering, what does the market look like right now? Who are the competitors to predictive logistics software? I'm pleased to tell you that we actually have no direct competitors. Well, there are many industries that have siloed applications that attempt to accomplish the same thing. There has been no one that has really brought this to every industry. And while we are only starting in the heavy equipment manufacturing industry, we will be able to continue to grow this and spread this across all organizations. Because we have no direct competitors right now, we find ourselves very well positioned in order to continue to grow this product and be a market leader. So what does MAS need in order to bring this revolutionary software to market? Our executive team has sat down and ran a 5-year projected revenue analysis, And the outcome was that a $5 million investment is what we would be looking for in order to really position Mass as a market leader and be able to sustain the growth that we feel is needed in the first several years in order to grow this organization. And when you compare the investment to some of the other organizations out there, $5 million is really a small dollar amount when you look at our long-term forecasts. Thank you again for the opportunity to present today, and we look forward to many years of success going forward.